We are live and it's Wedding Wednesday. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm so excited. Glad to be here again. I know that I did it a couple weeks ago, but we're here again because I missed you guys, and I also thought it'd be a good time for us to all get together and chat. It's a very trying time for a lot of us. Everyone's confused. Everyone's up in the air. They're not sure what to do. People are getting married. Events are being canceled, postponed, and there's a lot of high anxiety for people, not only in the industry, but for obviously for brides, grooms, people having communions, confirmations. I had a few events that I had to cancel for myself, so I do know how you feel. So let's chat. If any of you out there want to join the conversation, click. You can type any questions you like. We will try to answer as best as we possibly can. First thing I have to say is this is a safe place for us to chat. So we would never badmouth any companies on this platform or any clients. It's a safe place to chat. So if I see any of that happening, I will tell you right now. I know that emotions are high, but we don't go there. So the first thing that I did want to talk about is how you doing? Everyone is asking me, am I postponing my birthday party? I do have a birthday party. It is in May. I haven't done anything about it yet. So I understand your position. I will be keeping you guys posted on that. I would love for all of you to come because after this is all over, I am sure that you guys would love to join me for some drinks. Yes, that is number one that I want to talk about. So it seems that we are at the point that if you have an event in March, you have canceled it, you are canceling it, you are postponing it. Hopefully you have postponed your event and not canceled, because that's very sad. And for many, many reasons, because when you book something for an event, I'm sure you put a deposit. So this is the first thing I would like to talk about. We are going to have Joe from Chateau Le Parc on, so whenever he'd like to join, he can join. I'm new at this split screen, so I'm waiting for him to ask to join. So the first thing I do really want to discuss is deposits. Everyone takes a deposit, hopefully. And the reason why we take deposits is for many reasons. One is many companies are, let's say entertainers, for example, there's only one of them. So if you are going to book your date and, you contact a vendor and they put your date in, they take a deposit, because if they don't take a deposit and then a week before your event comes and you decide to cancel, you are taking away from them, a potential other client. How do you join? Let's pause for a second. Go out of the viewing, Joe. Go out of viewing, come back in, and it'll ask you if you'd like to join the conversation. Sorry about that. Okay, so with regards to deposit, yes, the first reason why you give a deposit is because when you take a date, what you're doing is blocking up a date, which means for me, for example, I'm the only, there you are. Let me add you. Okay, we're gonna introduce Joe into the conversation because he can, is it working? Let's see. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Hey, how are you? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Sorry.
I'm sure a lot of people.
Introduce myself. I'm Joe Laviola from Chateau Le Parc. How are you? How's everybody going out there? How many
Good.
viewers?
We're all
104
safe.
viewers. Wow.
Sorry?
I'm impressed. 103 viewers.
They're all waiting to talk to you.
I guess someone has anything better to do tonight, right?
Well, I'm glad that we have something to entertain people with, and hopefully we'll make people feel better after this.
Yeah.
Because
well,
I know a lot of people.
I don't know about that. We'll do our best, but
We'll try. That's what we're here for.
easy.
As a wedding planner, part of my job is to be in the middle to discuss things with my clients and make them feel better, and also have vendors that I work with feel comfortable for them to have come to an agreement together in times like this. So your input would be greatly appreciated. We were talking about a deposit, and the first thing
that's been the big topic lately, deposits, right? See,
yes.
deposits for wedding, and I mean every wedding wedding professional, their deposits are different, right? They're different purposes, different sizes. I can only speak for venues, what the deposits, why we take deposits, why they're essential to our business, and why ultimately we cannot return deposits, because for us, deposits, aside from, making people make the commitment to, having their event with us and, deterring them from jumping ship and changing, last minute. But for us, I mean, we're such a seasonal business that the bulk of our business is all done in one season, and the deposits we take help us carry through the off seasons. So for instance, in January, February, March, most venues, they were operating at a loss. Like, our overhead is much higher than the actual, revenue coming in. So we use those deposits to kind of weather the storm, make sure that, we're able to make payroll every week. And then also too, like, January, February, a lot of venues, they do minor renovations, they paint the walls, they do, and that all comes from those deposit accounts. Like, so it's not so much that, they all go into a joint account, and venues use those for, in January when we're at the bridal shows and we're doing all these big promotional events. I mean, the funds do come from those accounts. So it's not a matter of that we have it sitting there, and as soon as somebody needs it back, we're able to just return that deposit back, because it's essential to our business for cash flow. Like, I mean, all of our venues have huge overhead. Overhead is our biggest expense, more than the staff, more than the food, more than, alcohol, keeping those buildings heated, cooled, all the taxes that we pay, all the insurances that we pay. And those are 12 months a year. They don't stop. They don't, people have this, thing in their head that, January, February, March, we lower our pricing because our expenses are lower, which is, not the case, right? So deposits are, unfortunately, I mean, and this is when people keep asking us, like, what do you do in this situation? And, our answer has been, like, we've never been in this situation, so we don't know. We don't know the answers. We're trying to come up with them the best we can as we go along the way.
Right.
And
So
we're taking it case by case. I mean, when I come on the show, I don't let you talk, Rosemary. So
why did I invite you? I'm just kidding. I just want to say that I agree with you, and the deposit. Thank you for explaining why a venue needs deposit. But I also want to speak for everyone else in the industry. We take deposits for many reasons. The first thing I was going to say was, for us who are only like you only have 2 rooms, you only have so much space. So if you give up your room for that date and then we don't have a deposit and the week before they cancel, you could have booked someone else that day. I could have booked someone else that day.
That's one reason.
That's one reason, yes.
Necessary. I mean, but like in this case here, we still want to do these weddings. We don't want to just taking people's deposits and not doing the wedding. That doesn't help us either. Like that's
no, our biggest thing in the industry, and I've been speaking with a lot of people, is we are hoping that our clients they postpone, that they don't cancel. Because we really enjoy what we do. We want people to get married. We love having parties. It's very depressing not to be at parties.
For sure.
This past weekend.
All the weddings that we have the next 3 weeks, we found alternative dates for them. Some people had to go to Friday night instead of a Saturday. Some have taken a Sunday, but as far as postponing long term, I mean, we get people that are calling us in June, July, August, and the thing is, right now we're kind of on a priority basis. Like we're the next man up type of thing. Like the first event that we have coming up at our venue is the second week of April, and that's the next event that we have to find accommodate. We have to find a date for them, figure out something that it works for them, and once we've taken care of them, then we can move on to the next bride and the next bride and next bride. We can't jump too far ahead.
Are you finding? I know that the March events have been canceled, and you're into April. Are you
canceled?
Not canceled. Postponed.
Postponed. Not canceling. We don't like that.
No.
That's not happening. We've postponed. We've You know, we actually did 2 weddings last Saturday. You know, these couples were kind of in that situation where, hey, we don't know, you know, it's not that bad. And you know, when we started the whole process, I mean, when we start a wedding, starting Monday before the wedding, like the ball's rolling,
Right.
and
Right.
the ball was
I'm sure
rolling on
before
this
that.
wedding, and we had to do it like there's no turning back. Um, they still had beautiful weddings. Like the people who did show up, they you know, inevitably they did have some people that didn't show last minute, and we did our best to kind of, you know, mitigate some of the expenses on those guests that didn't show up. You know, because I mean, if people don't show up the day of the event, they obviously don't drink alcohol because they're not typically in the building. So we're able to kind of rebate a little bit there. Some of the food, you know, we were able to salvage so that we were able to, like, we did our best to help these couples as much as we could without obviously putting the business in jeopardy. I mean, we did have, you know, staff already in place that needed to be paid. Whose finger?
Sorry.
That Pat?
That's mine.
Okay, so question for you. So the couples who are on the fence right now, which seem to be for me, I don't know about for you, but they're at the end of April, they're still on the fence. And the ones in May, some of them are on the fence, some of them have postponed. What is your advice to them? And what is the first thing I say to them is you have to call your venue. I can give you all the advice I want in the world, but I am not the decision maker for you. I don't make the decisions for venues. People are asking me, you know, what's the venue going to do? Call your venue.
Like, I can only speak for our venue, how we do things. And we're telling the couples that are like, you know, the next one in line, like we're not relocating anybody after you. So the dates that we have available today are going to be the same dates that we have available next week. And so there's no panic to say, I need to reschedule now. Like, we know we're all in the same boat. We understand what's happening. Everybody is kind of in watching every day of, you know, what the news is and what the new laws are. And then, like, it's not like we're sitting in a bubble here. We're not kind of following along with what's happening. We're here watching just like you know. So as soon as we know what's happening and we're like, okay, now second, third week of April, it's for sure not happening, we can move you to the next available date. We've given all the couples the dates that we have available. So like I'm saying, the dates that I give you today, it's not a normal booking process. They're not getting booked. It's not like you're going to lose out on these dates. You know which dates we have, and when it gets time to really pull the plug, then you already know, okay, this is the date I'm going to. There's no point in jumping too far ahead. Like,
yeah, part of my question is, when would you say is the final day that they can make this when 2 weeks before their wedding? Like, when do you order the food?
And I could only speak for a venue purpose,
right?
For us, 2 weeks, even 10 days, like until we really start ordering food, like we could technically postpone a wedding 2-3 months, like until we need those final numbers to get the ball rolling. Now, other vendors, maybe it doesn't work for them. I know florists can't really work on a 2-week, 10-day schedule.
Right.
Some people, so that's the thing. All vendors kind of have to, you know, come to some agreement to say, okay, it has to be 2 weeks before or 3 weeks, whatever it is. So again, I can only speak for a venue purpose of ordering food and, you know, ordering, you know, getting the staff organized. We don't do that, you know, 2-3 weeks in advance. We need 10 days a week minimum in order to pull off a wedding. That's what we do. That's a normal practice for us. All the staff know that that's the way it works. We give them schedules 10 days in advance. They're all ready to work. So, I mean, for us, but again, I know for a fact that doesn't work for, I mean, mostly florists. I'm pretty sure photographers are kind of in the same boat. You know, entertainers, they're there, they're sitting, you know, idling, ready to go.
A lot of us are postponing because a lot of us services, we've had to pay for things like administrative and stuff like that with our deposits. But we're able to carry our deposits over whenever they'd like to book. But yes, florists, I mean, if you don't contact your florist, some of them, they order their flowers a month before. The first person I tell them to contact is their venue. The second is the florist, because I know that the florist has tangible items that if they've ordered them and they've paid for them and they are coming, they're being shipped,
Exactly.
and their supplier doesn't let them cancel,
And
those flowers have to be covered.
every wedding for decor, there's no.
You're freezing. Oh no. Is he freezing on yours? Is he freezing? Okay, you're frozen on mine, and I'm going to answer some questions until I get you back. So we have some questions. Let's see here. So again, talk to your venue, talk to your vendors. If this is a general question, talk to your photographer, videographer, whoever you need to. I can tell you that speaking with industry professionals, that we are all willing to, even if we don't normally do this, we're all willing to take your deposit and move it over to a new date. And if you postpone your date, we will move over your deposit. I know that there are some places that are charging a postponement fee. That's on them. Read your contract. That's the one thing I say. Read your contract. I know that, COVID-19 is not in your contract, but the biggest thing you could do, the best thing you could do is speak to your professionals, because they're human beings. They're humans. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see if we're going to get Joe back. Speak to them, because they're humans and they're willing to work with you for the most part. And if you go in there, stomping your feet, no one's going to want to work with you if you just say, I want my money back, I want to cancel. Hey, buddy.
Okay.
Was it you disrupting it?
My dad,
Yeah.
Dad come over here.
Yeah. Okay. Just don't.
You can come say hi.
Play around.
Okay, so just a question for you, because you mentioned earlier about the government and what they're doing on the news. I'm not sure if you're aware or if maybe I'm misinformed, but I did see that they had not allowed.
I did. I saw that post. Somebody, about that all gathering. Okay, wait. All gatherings, larger than 50 cannot happen except for funerals and weddings.
Well, first they said they did actually say no weddings, and then they changed it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know about you, but it's very confusing.
Yeah, there's one thing about, the government saying that we cannot do it. Another is like, do you really want to have your wedding at this point, like at this time? Because like I said, we had those 2 weddings last week.
Yeah.
They were nice. We pulled them off, but was it a little bit awkward for some people? Sure. I mean, like, you go to a wedding, you can hug and kiss the bride. People were kind of reluctant to dance, and it was, so we did. I mean, we had to do it. Like, it was kind of at that point where we couldn't turn back.
No looking back.
But,
yeah.
I mean, it's not ideal. Like, our staff was a little bit kind of worried too, because it's one thing for the guests, and another thing, we have part-time people coming to work, and some of their parents were calling, nervous, saying, I don't want to send my son or daughter to work. Like, I'd rather give them the money and tell them stay home, right?
Yes, a lot of us in the industry are dealing with, because they have taken that ban off. Some brides want to go ahead, and grooms, they want to go ahead, and what are we supposed to say? No, you can't go ahead. We don't want to do your wedding. But a lot of us, we have our own families. At this point, if I had a wedding this weekend, I'd be really scared to go to it just for myself. And if I'm the one canceling, then, the brides and grooms might turn around and say, well, you're the one canceling, all my money back. Yeah. So, we're kind of put in a position.
See, right now we're trying to come up with solutions amicably with people. We get it. We understand the situation. We're trying to make decisions for obviously the individual, but then ultimately for the greater good, like for the health of the business. I mean, we need to survive this storm. We can't, like, we have weddings booked. I just booked one for 2022. Like, we need to be around for these weddings. Like, there's no choice. And,
yeah.
Like, the people in 2021, they're not worried about COVID-19. They're worried about, Chapter 11. That's like, So we need to make decisions, obviously, to help the couples. You know, their days are just as important. Um, but you know, the the health of the business is the next step. Like making sure that we're still in business to redo these weddings. If people want to postpone until next year, that's one thing. But you know, we need to be around for until next year, which that's the ultimate goal. I mean, right now, that's not an issue. I mean, we have a lot of support from from our landlords, and all of our suppliers have kind of giving us um, the reassurance that they're not going to come after us and things like that. So it's helped in certain ways, but again, who knows how long this is going to last. Like if it's 1 month, it's one thing. If it's 2 months, it's not. If we're talking 4, 5, 6 months, then who knows, like that's scary. Like it's not something.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
No.
We'll think positive. A lot of people are asking, I mean, some clients are bringing up that the government's going to subsidize us or whatever it is. The problem with that is we don't know what that means, it means, like,
Yeah. If the government does subsidize us, like I said, we won't know until later on. And our position with our customers is going to be like, if we're getting money back from the government because of losses, hey, we're giving you your money back. But we can't give it back, and then if we don't get it back, I got to come back to you and say, hey, remember I gave my deposit back? Can I get it back?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. Like, unfortunately, that's a
the thing is, like, a lot of people maybe don't understand. Like, yes, we have a deposit, but we plan our lives. I mean, at least I do plan my life. I don't really know what I'm making every month until I know what my dates are, my events are. So, yes, you guys are postponing, but I had a wedding April 25th. In my brain, I was planning that I was going to have a certain amount of money in my pocket for that to pay for certain things. So the postponement is hurting us as well. It's not just, you okay?
There's a raccoon behind me here.
Yeah, so
there's a raccoon. I put some beer in the backyard, and there's a raccoon trying to get it.
Hey, we don't want you to get just killed by a raccoon, Joe. We have other problems.
No, he's outside.
Okay, Joe, we're going to let you go, and we're going to see who else wants to come in and talk with us. But you're welcome to keep watching and send us your comment. Thank you for all your input. And I have some questions here that I'll have to answer for people.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Good luck with everything.
Bye.
Bye. How do I do this? There we go. Okay, wow, so many questions, and hopefully I'll be able to keep up. If anybody in the industry, I saw some people come up. If you want to add yourself to the conversation, you need to get out of the conversation, come back in, and request to join in. Let's see. The government also said that there's no waiting for the EI, and it's a lie. I still have to wait. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we can't just really, depend on what the government's saying right now. It's very up in the air. Let's see here. Okay, we're gonna add Daniela from another wedding planner. Weddings by Daniela, and hopefully she can help me. Oh no, I think I hit Ricky Marcone. Was I supposed to do that? Well, you're coming on now. Let's see here. Yes, we would like to speak to some florists, some photographers, videographers, whoever has input. And if you are typing away there, you guys, if if I'm not answering questions, you can go back and read all the comments later. This will be on for 24 hours. Let's see. What about stags, showers, communions, and other events? That's one of the questions we had. I'm not sure what that question was. About deposits? Oh, okay. Yes, a lot of communions. You know what? The issue is that the church is, even if you wanted to have a small function, first of all, if you're doing it at a restaurant, you're not allowed to do it in a restaurant anymore. And the second thing is that it's under the control of the church or the school. And if the church is not allowing masses, then they have canceled confirmations, communions, and it's really sad. But then you're left with, you have to cancel your party. Get Daniela in their flowers is a big one. I'm waiting. I can't see who's wanting to join. How do I do this? Wait, let me click this little thing here. Okay. Let's talk to, can't do this with something else. Nadja. Okay, let's add Josephine. We're gonna add a photographer in. I'm just waiting for them to join. And there we go. Hi, Josephine. How are
Hi,
you?
Rosemary. How are
Why don't you
you?
introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Josephine from the Photo Factory and Films. Obviously, we do video and photography. And just like everybody in the industry, we've been really, really affected by what's going on in the last couple of weeks. Really affected. How are you doing?
Yes. They don't see us crying behind the scenes. We're crying for you, trust me. We're crying for ourselves. And it's just, you know, we don't really have all the answers for people. So it's hard because we know there's high emotions. We don't want people to think that we're just in it for, you know, to get money off people. If you've talked to us, if you've hired us, you know that we're not those type of people,
No,
because
exactly.
we've created a
What we
relationship.
love.
Some people I've had a relationship with for over a year because I've been planning their weddings, and I just feel so bad for them, and I can just give them whatever advice I can. But the best advice I can give is talk to your vendors, because, you know, you're a photographer, videographer, your policy might be different than someone else's. Whatever was in the contract, you guys can discuss. We're all
Everything
willing to
is
work.
fixable and negotiable, right? And at times
Yeah.
like this, you know, he said it right. We've never dealt with anything like this. I don't know what the policy is on this. We don't have a policy. So I think the postponing, as much as it's affecting all of us, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But postpone, don't cancel. You guys couldn't have said it any better. It's my March and April have been completely wiped clean. Starting with communions, actually was the first to start. The churches started canceling, and that was the initial calls. And then from there, and it's mostly grooms I'm talking to. So you could just imagine how stressed the brides are.
I think the brides are scared. They're like scared to fall. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And we're not going to bite your head off. We know what's going on. We know what you're going through, but we also partly want you to know what we're going through, because if you have a business, maybe you work a job that you work a 9 to 5 and you know your salary is every week. It's hard for us to just say, okay, cancel, here's all your money back. If you had to cancel 40 events this month, I mean, you wouldn't be able to eat. You had to give back all the deposits, you know.
Well, exactly. I use my deposits. Like, you get a lot of booking in the winter, right? As the bridal show comes and stuff like that. So that kind of carries us out through the winter. We kind of need that money. And just to give back a whole bunch of deposits, you're not the only one canceling, right? All of a sudden 50 jobs canceled. And what do you do there? Now what, right? So, it's I don't know whether to laugh or cry at this point, to be honest with you, but I feel bad, really bad for all the brides and all the moms that have booked everything for everybody, right? All the communions and confirmations. I feel bad for everybody. It's a hard time for everyone right now.
Yes. And, you know, one of the questions was, you know, what do you do if you're going to postpone your wedding and your vendors are not all available, and your vendors can't all, you know, get together on the same day. I do know that a lot of people, like in my contract, it says if I'm not available, I will find someone for you. So I don't think that's a problem for me. I know photographers, videographers have a big team, and we all have a support system that
our
help
industry is
each other
great
out.
for that. It takes a village. And in our industry, it's the same thing. When I got into a car accident a couple of years ago, it was my industry peeps that were basically stepping up for me to do the weddings that I couldn't do. So I think we're all going to join it together just like we normally do whenever there's something, and we're going to help each other out. I'm sure if I need a photographer, a videographer, my fellow industry peeps would help me. And just like you, I'm sure your fellow industry peeps would help you.
Yes.
I think we all want to help each other and just get her done. We need to work, and we need to work next year too. I mean, Joe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he said it perfectly. Like, we need to be around for next year as well, right?
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I think the new cool thing is going to be like, have a Friday wedding, have a Thursday wedding. You know what? It's so funny because there's so many people that go to like a charity event on a Thursday, no problem. They'll stay out till midnight, no problem. But if you call a wedding on a Thursday, it's like you're crazy.
Oh, it's the worst thing in the world. I know. I don't know why. Even Friday. And I find Friday weddings are so much fun because it's a Friday. People are like, yeah, Friday. And they just go nuts at Friday weddings, right?
Yeah.
It's always a much more relaxed atmosphere, I find, right?
Yeah.
But I think any day is a good day to get married. You want to get married on a Monday, get married on a Monday.
You know what? That's what they do in Europe.
That's all that matters, is you're getting married and we're celebrating it. So
yeah.
I think we got to get a little creative this year. It was supposed to be a busy year, right? 2020 was a big year. So a lot of vendors, a lot of bride and grooms are being affected. A lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I know some people are getting upset about not getting their deposits back, but I keep telling everybody we're all victims of this right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
really
I mean, for the most part, I've found that my brides and grooms have been very understanding and willing to work. I mean, I do invitations, and we're in the middle of, and if you're listening, this is a good some good advice too. What do you do? I have people getting married in May that are just about to send out their invites, don't know if they should send them because they don't know if they're going to postpone, and they want to wait till a few weeks before their wedding to make a decision. And a great idea is that the invitations are already glued, they're printed, everything. What I am suggesting to them is to come up with, like, go to theknot.com and make a wedding website, and in your invitation we'll put an insert that says, if due to circumstances we may postpone this wedding, follow us on whatever it is on this website or on our Instagram, and we will keep you posted. And that's the best thing I can suggest, as opposed to, like, I have a bride who's moving from April to May. What if the May moves again?
Which
so
I think it will. I think this is going into May, personally.
We'll see.
I think this is going into May. I think all of my last April wedding, I think, is about to be postponed. And if the government is telling us, I personally think if they're telling us to apply as owners, or what are we again, self-employed owners, to apply in April for this relief that they have for us, I have a feeling that this is going to go into May. I don't know. That's just what my gut's telling me.
Most likely, I hope it just doesn't go further.
Yeah. I know. That's my only fear, to be honest with you. I'm just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, you're right. That's a great idea to have a B plan. I always think, and I think for the brides, they have to think that way. The way you're thinking right now is the proper way to think. Go forth. If you have to print it, if it's ready to go, put the little insert and be ready for plan B, right? Have the website, any new announcements, follow, do a Facebook page, do an Instagram page, and that way you can update all your wedding guests and stuff like that.
And this way you don't have to send out another invitation later.
Exactly. Or design an email, like do emails. Everybody does emails now, so you could even do any of that. I know it's informal, but I mean, to get the new news out there. I just think everybody needs to be a little creative at this point, right? So if you have to get married on a Friday, get married on a Friday. If you have to get married, on a different season that you planned on getting married, and your dresses are a different color, they'll look good anyways.
There's no dress season color anymore. It's black is like all year long now.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
Anyway, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for coming and joining us, giving us your advice, and I'm gonna answer some questions because I have a lot of people asking questions.
Good luck with everything, okay?
Stay on so you can help us out with answering these questions.
Of course.
Thank you.
You're doing an awesome job. Bye, babe.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, how do we do this? All right. Let's see if I can get to any questions. Okay. Okay, what if the hall can't accommodate the new date? Someone said, what if the hall can't accommodate the new date? Well, the hall is the one giving you the dates, so they should not be unable, does that make sense? to accommodate you. You have to go to the hall and ask them for dates that are available. So they should be able to accommodate you. Hopefully that answers your question. I don't know if I missed it, but wedding is in August. Should I be worried? I don't know how to answer that. We're all worried. I'm personally hopeful for things to calm down in May. I wouldn't move your wedding right now. You do have a lot of time. And just contact your florist for sure. Contact your venue and see what your options are with regards to how far in advance do I have to postpone my wedding. Can I still postpone my wedding a few weeks before? If you're worried about invitations, like I just said, you can send out invitations with a little insert. I mean, you're in August, so you don't have to send them out till the latest June. So we have some time for that. So I would hold off for you. Sent a request to join. Let's see who has sent a request. Okay, so we're gonna add in a, are you coming? Let's see here. What about the vendors who are personally not comfortable with being at the event that is happening? Yes, we touched on that a little bit. So please keep in mind that if you are, still adamant on having your wedding, let's say April 25th, and your vendor is not comfortable, you need to have a discussion, and maybe your vendor, I don't know if they want to send some employees or they don't want to do that to their employees. I'm not sure.
this has to be a discussion between you and them. And I mean, I know your contract might say if they cancel, there's certain penalties. So I'm not really sure how to answer that. It has to be a conversation, and you need to be a little bit understanding. Just figure something out with them. I'm sure they're willing to work something out with you. My wedding's May 16th. I don't know when I should make my final decision by. Again, call your venue and your florist to see how much time you have to make this decision. I would send out, I mean, I don't know. Have you sent out your invitations yet? I'm assuming you have. Do you or anyone here know anything about marriage licenses? Well, where is Rolly? He's supposed to be, Roland is supposed to be coming on. Let's see here. If you go forward with your wedding, just know that a lot of people will bail. I got married last weekend. Yes, this is true. So right now, if you're keeping your wedding date April, May, you probably won't have as many people at your wedding. And I'm trying to get people on. I don't know why it's not working. You might not have as many people at your wedding. The only issue with that is you need to talk to your venue, because if you guaranteed like 200 persons, you need to see what your, hi Daniela, you need to see what your venue will do for you, because most of the time, if you guarantee 200 people, you have to pay those 200 people if you only have 180. So hopefully some venues are being flexible. Some might not. There are some venues that will say, okay, listen, we just want this amount of money spending on your day. So if you only pay, can only pay for 150, and the amount of money it costs for the next 50 people, if they're not going to show up, we can put that money elsewhere, like into the late night station or into your, you know, if you're going to have a ceremony on site now, paying for that extra hall. So maybe there's other ways to take that money and use it if they're still making you pay the full amount. I know not all venues do that, so don't take that as a word, but some venues will do that. Would you have an opinion on that, Danielle? This is Daniela. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, it's me, Daniela. Weddings by Daniela. Hope you guys are, enjoying your time at home. I don't even, I'm lost for words. I just came back from Cuba and I wish I was there. I'm telling you, I'm going to be an official planner and destination. Nothing happens there. Like, this is crazy. This is insane. Like, literally insane. Literally.
We're here to calm people down. Not freak them out.
I'm telling you, you know what? And honestly, guys, just keep the messages coming in. Rosemary and I, we're here to help no matter what. It doesn't matter whether you booked us or not. It's a very crucial time for everyone. It's an emotional time. I had a wedding this Saturday. So that was my first wedding of the season. She decided to cancel on Monday. So I've been dealing with a lot of vendors. I believe the vendors that get hit the most when it's a last minute booking like that would be the florist. The hall, you can still freeze your food, use it for another event. I know,
that's true.
Right? The florist, that's it. The florists were charged. The florists were charged by their suppliers. So if you are planning on canceling, because I do flowers as well, if you do plan on canceling your wedding, or not canceling, sorry, postponing your wedding, I suggest at least give the florist 3 to 4 weeks in advance notice, because everybody gets hit. You got to remember, these flowers are coming from Ecuador. They're coming from Mexico. So Holland, it's just, they're coming from everywhere. So people are going to be charged. And they were charged a restocking fee of $1,800. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
So
that's why we have deposits too, right?
Exactly. So, I don't know. It's just an emotional time. The bride and groom hasn't even, they just reached out to me today. I've been dealing with their mom. They're just an emotional mess. They're a disaster. They're a disaster. How have you been doing? What's going on?
Oh, me? I'm okay. My first wedding of the season, well, I had a small wedding, and she is postponing it, which everything's working out fine. Her wedding was in a restaurant, so she had no choice because restaurants had to shut down. And someone asked again, isn't it a 50-person, minimum? And I don't know if you've seen the news, but they did waive that for weddings. I don't know why. This is why we're all going crazy here, because technically a bride can go to a venue and say, I have whatever, I'm allowed to have over 50 people do my wedding. And then, all the vendors are kind of panicking, like, oh my gosh, do we want to be around all these people we don't know? And then, they have to understand that their guests might not want to come. Yeah. So I really wish that someone from the government would just make up their mind, make up a rule and say, they're saying that you can't have coffee with your neighbors. I have 5 people in a house, but they're not saying you can't cancel weddings. Yeah. I don't understand it, but we're going to get to the bottom of that at some point.
Well, the reason why is because it's an invite only, and I understand, and I'm on the same page as you. Like, I understand stags. Stags are more of a public, not a private. Okay, because stags, these guys buy 10 tables, person buys 10 tables, but your weddings are more of a personal event. Now, your guests need to be responsible. Like, if you have an appointment somewhere, you're not going to go sick. So if your guests are sick, they need to make that call and say, hey, listen, I caught the flu. I don't feel well. I'm sorry, I won't be able to attend. So your guests need to be responsible as well, not just the people who are throwing it. And a lot of people, and I find that brides and grooms, they're feeling the most vulnerable right now, because they feel like, do I continue and be like, because people think that they're selfish if they continue to their wedding and go on with it, So I don't think you're selfish. If you choose to keep your wedding, you're not being selfish. I think, this is something that everybody's been looking forward to. And if you're getting married in June, hold off. I think to hold off if you're getting married in June. Don't jump the gun. Let these 2 weeks slide and see what happens. If the schools go fully out, then there's a situation. If they decide to shut down schools and say, okay, they're done for the rest of the year, then there's a situation. I don't know.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you for joining us, because I have Roland who wants to, he's an officiant, and hopefully he's still there. Okay, he wants to explain about marriage licenses, because a lot of people, their churches are closed, but they're willing to move their wedding to the venue and have a ceremony there. So that's hopefully Rolly's still there. I know he's commenting. Thank you for answering people's questions while I can. Okay. But I will talk to you later, and we'll keep in touch. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.
Okay, so let's see if I can get Rolly on here. Roland, I keep calling you Rolly. I've tried a few times, not working. Let's see. So, yes, if you still want to go on with your wedding, if you've decided, there are some people who've decided, I'm just going to do a little party in my basement, and they need an officiant. There are ways to, you can hire an officiant, and I'm seeing some conversation here about government offices being closed, so you can't get your license to get married, which is a little bit crazy. But let me see. So where is he? Are you going to join us, Roland? I need your professional input here. I read something about 3 months. Where did I read that? Why isn't it working? City Hall, Toronto is still open. Why, Roland, I'm trying to join you in here so you can talk to us. Why isn't it working? Okay, why don't you go out and come back in, and it'll ask you to request, and I'll see if you can request me again. Vaughn is still open too. Okay, phew, I had a little bit of a heart attack there because I didn't know. But yes, it's valid for 90 days, your license. And this is true. Let me see if I have any other questions here. Someone messaged me earlier and asked that the hall wanted to reschedule, and they won't reschedule to next April. That's just the reality of what's happening. You're not going to get available dates till next year. Because so many people have booked this year. It's been a crazy year. I mean, I'm booking 2021. I've been booking since last year. So just consider doing a Sunday or a Friday if you want to get married earlier. Let's see here. So I don't think they will be open for long. We're still talking about the marriage license. Let's see. Why isn't it working? There we are. Hey!
Okay.
I can
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Sorry about the connection. There's just a little bit of an internet glitch. Glad to see everyone here.
Yes. So why don't you help us out here? Explain if someone
Okay.
wants to, what do they do because their church is closed?
Okay. Now, basically, information have been changing every day and even by the minute. I thought City Hall downtown was still open where every place around the GTA was closed, but I just learned that it was also closed. So
I'm not sure
basically,
if that's correct. Is that just from the comments here? We should see. We should
no,
check.
we just learned from
Okay.
another officiant that she actually had a wedding today, and that couldn't.
Rescued a bride.
And she rescued a bride, and it couldn't happen.
Oh no.
So now, basically, the idea is like this: in order to get married, you need to have a marriage license, regardless if you get married in the church, in the synagogue, in the temple, or the coffee shop down the street.
Yeah.
Without City Hall, there's no wedding. So that's the bottom line. Now, to whoever who has a marriage license already, because it's valid for 3 months. So to brides getting married in May, April, they should have their marriage license already.
Yeah.
Some may do it a little bit last minute. Now, if you have not had your marriage license and City Hall's closed, you are in a little bit of a bigger dilemma. Of course, you can apply for it online, but you still need to physically show up at City Hall with your ID to pick it up.
So it's not something they can send you registered mail?
No.
No.
That it doesn't work like that. They physically need to see you, but you can expedite or you can start the process by filling the form online. Okay. Now, I'm talking about first to the ones who already have their marriage license, because as I say, it's valid for 3 months. Now, from my perspective, you are good to go, which means if the party or the venue or the flowers or let's say the music is not happening yet, I can officiate the wedding in what I call an elopement ceremony, which is done either in my office or I can come to your home with 2 witnesses. So the wedding itself, the marriage date can be the original wedding date that you have planned. The party, obviously, will be done at a different date. So that's option 1. To the ones who do not have their marriage licenses yet, now, that is the first thing to be sorted. Now, for church weddings, they are usually the ones who hold your license, but you still need to apply for it. The priests don't apply for it because you're not marrying the priest. You're marrying each other.
Right.
These are legal documents.
So these are legal documents from my legal standpoint. So that is why I am offering for the next 2 weeks, if whoever needs to have at least a wedding done on that date, I can legalize it. But there will, of course, be no party.
We should talk about doing a private, what's it called? Pop-up chapel.
Something like that, as long as you bring your own pens and there are 2 valid witnesses. Yes, that can be done. But
We can wear gloves.
Here in this discussion, everyone is also more worried about the actual plans for the guests, the families who might be coming over, which honestly, with no planes, no one's really coming.
Nope.
I am also in another side of the business.
Yeah.
And the mood generally that I get from even guests and relatives going to an event, because of the current situation and events, even if your wedding is happening, they are not really in the happy party mood, if you know what I mean. So what I'm saying is that don't force the date to happen. But because you already have promised each other, you have a beautiful future ahead. It's going to be a great life, guys. A party and a champagne next month or the year end is not going to change things.
Right.
So this is the way to approach the idea. You're not marrying somebody you met, let's say, on Tinder last week, but that's a different story altogether. And if you postpone it for
I
like
would
2
stay away
months, 3
from meeting
months,
people on Tinder right now.
yeah, I mean, you know what? Those are different story for a different day.
Yeah.
And us professionals, you know, Rosemary, I know you all these years. We are there for our couples. We're not going to take off, and we all are doing it to make a living as well as we are having fun, as much as everybody else do. So postpone is the name of the game. And we love Friday weddings. We love Sunday weddings.
We do.
We love even Monday weddings. And you know what? Because of the current situation, which is so unusual, I am even thinking the Saturday wedding formula or model is going to be tossed out the door. We're going to have weddings 7 days a week.
Why not? I'm taught that's what they do in Europe.
Exactly. We're going to have it 7 days a week. And I would suggest to all the couples, whoever's getting married and thinking about postponing, first thing is to call the officiants or the church. The officiants are the ones, without the officiant, it is only a fancy dress party, guys. So that's the idea.
You're going to pretend you're married, and then you're going to actually get your license after and get married. That's
exactly. Or, as I have suggested, get the legal documents done on that particular day. It can be done as fast as 15, 20 minutes with 2 witnesses. So you know the legal part, you are good, but you don't have to tell all your friends about it. No, but you don't have to post it on social media. We did part A first because I have a lot of weddings coming up. Some of them are already married. They just want to do the show for everybody else and make a great surprise. You know, that can go both ways. Okay. And back to the original thing is have the party and think about the actual wedding, the beautiful pictures, the flowers, at a different date when this settles and everyone is in a happier mood.
Yeah. Hey, I think I want you to renew my wedding vows, babe. When I get married again? No. Okay, no.
Sure, there you go.
I'll marry someone else.
As this is the same person, I am glad. Oh, hi. And on the other hand, it's not only me as a wedding officiant here. This is Reverend Mary as well.
Hi. Thank you for all your valid information.
We're here as a team. Like this issue is affecting all of us, right? I've already had 2 couples today call me an hour ago, call me in panic, and we're like, no, we'll postpone it. We'll do another date. Let me look at the date. Let me look at the time. We all have to be flexible now at the time as well. It can't be Saturday at 5:30 for everybody anymore. We have to be accommodating as best as we can. So, but the big thing is please call the officiant and your reverend so that they're on board with you as well, so that the days can be changed, right? Because we're all here to make it happen.
That's the thing, you know, we're all human. We're all going to find some kind of way, and people have to think outside the box too, right?
Yeah, and like we said to Roland, we love Friday weddings. We love Sunday weddings, you know, and the couple that I spoke to, it didn't even dawn on her that she could have a Friday wedding.
Right, I think that happened to me last week. They're like, oh, I don't have that.
Right? Yeah. She said, oh, I can do August the 22nd. I go, yeah, but I'm booked already at 6:30, you know? Why not Friday? Why not a Sunday? And then she goes, oh my God, I never thought of that. So, this is great. We're opening up.
Yeah.
We're all opening up, but we're here to support. And definitely, Roland and I were saying about it was his great idea for couples who have to get their licenses signed that he offered this service. I said, way to go. I'm on board with you. I'm on board.
That's fantastic, and I'm gonna spread the news on that.
Actually, I am doing my own wedding, which was for April the 25th, and they're pregnant. We're going to still do the signing on April the 4th here at my home, just the signing, but then we're going to do the wedding after the baby's born in October.
Yeah, why not?
So the baby will be present. We're so excited. So
it's always a way. You know, people get stuck on, this is the wedding I always dreamed of. This is the date I always dreamed of. I always wanted to do a winter wedding. They get stuck, and then some people just forget the whole point of, you know, as long as you're with your loved one, you're marrying the person you want. Does it matter if you?
Roland said it best. These are not people you just met yesterday. These are people you've known. You've gone through the hardship. Yeah, the universe is now testing us. I always say Mother Earth has put us on timeout. So we now have this. Okay, what are we going to do now?
A little bit excited about how it's going to be after all this. I'm a little bit excited because I feel like we're going to have a different industry and everybody's going to be in a different kind of mood and mindset. And I
truly teamwork. Truly teamwork.
Yeah.
Truly teamwork.
Thank you, guys. Is there anything else you want to add there?
Just also at this time suddenly came to my mind. I read that somewhere. for the brides who needs to be a little bit more proactive or doing a little bit of homework is start a little spreadsheet. One column is all the vendors that you have booked. The next is your tentative dates that in case if you are planning to postpone or reschedule, and have that spreadsheet sent around to all your booked vendors. So they will be able to give you a checkbox. This date is available, that date is available. So it's a bit more, I guess, efficient to just to plan that.
Yeah. You know what? If it comes out that, 8 out of 10 of your vendors are available and the other 2 are not, it's not the end of the world. You talk to them. If there's a photographer, they're not available for your wedding date, you have to change, they can't find someone else for you. Use them, you have a deposit with them. Use them for your 1-year anniversary. Use them for your baby's baptism. Use them for something else. There's always a way. If you can't get your deposit back and you need to change it, you can always use these services. Like I have a makeup artist who people are just, calling her and saying, you should give me my deposit back, and they're really letting her have it. And I'm thinking to myself, I get my makeup done all the time when I go to events. What is the big deal? Just, everybody's willing in this industry to give a credit to postpone their deposit. She's not asking for full payment at all, by all means. She's just saying, we can't give deposit back for whatever we discussed before, same reason.
It's a retainer.
Use it for your kid's baptism. Use it for your friend's party. You know what I mean? Like there's ways around it. People need to meet somewhere, and we're all willing to. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, yes, one last thing, sorry.
Yeah.
I just read somebody posted the hall won't change the date. Now, guys, they will. Put it that way. You are the customer. The hall won't change the date is because they have something else, but be assertive. Something can be worked out.
What do you mean the hall won't change the date? Do you mean the hall won't?
I just read somebody posted that they've done that, but the hall won't change the date.
Yeah, but okay, I understand. But what do they mean the hall won't change the date? The hall won't postpone it at all? It won't move it at all? Or the date she wants is not available? That's 2 different things.
Oh, that I don't know. I just read this comment.
Yeah. I'm not sure if there's a response. Are you still there?
But anyway, you know what? Happy to connect with everybody. We'll be watching through, and we can always be reached by the internet. We are around. It's all good. We are doing virtual elbows right now.
Yes, we're all
not
available.
going anywhere.
No, stay home. You are not going anywhere. Actually, stay home.
We're grounded. Mother Earth has got us in our home.
They won't postpone. Okay, you know what? You need to private message me, and maybe I can talk to you about that, because I don't want to talk about any venues. I don't want to know what venue it is on here. But just private message me, and I'll see what I can do to help you out there, because I find that very hard to believe in this time.
Exactly.
Unless your wedding is tomorrow.
You are the customer, and you have to be proactive, because to them you are a major source of revenue.
Yeah, what she's saying is that they're forcing her to have her wedding on that day. That, like, let's say her wedding is next week, that they're forcing her to keep it. That's very hard to believe.
Yeah, but there's more to it.
There's more to it.
Yeah, you need to maybe message me. I don't want you to really say which hall it is on here.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us. And we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Great.
Take care.
Stay safe.
We are happy.
Okay, so there's a lot of questions here. I am going to go through it after, because I'm sure I missed some. And I'll go through and I'll respond to messages. But if you have any questions right now that you'd like to ask me, we have a few minutes left, and then we're gonna go for the evening. So let's see here. Okay, I have no questions written here. Thank you, lovely assistant. Do you want to come on and talk about event entertainers? Sure. Because sometimes you're only one person, and if you have to postpone and you're not available, what do they do?
Well, for those who are, I have sparkles in my hair. Sorry, it's
you missed the party last night.
Okay, sure. Listen, just in general about what's going on, a lot of brides and groups and anybody that's throwing a party over the next 2 months are getting like the shaft right now, obviously. And there's only 29 seconds left.
Oh, okay, hurry up.
So, but I just want to let you know that on our end, we're losing out as well. And
They know
it's,
this. They know
it's
this.
a rough time. But
We love you.
key thing is just stay strong, and we'll get through this. Sorry, there's only 10
See you
seconds
next
left.
Wednesday. I will come back next Wednesday because people are asking.
Love you guys. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks for tuning in. But it's there.